Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your man George Page coming to you live on YouTube. Well, I haven't put too much content lately. I've been a little busy, around the first of the month. I gotta pay some bills and do some running around, but I got a little moment right now. The weather's kind of wet and rainy, so I'm stuck here at the El House, El Casa. So I thought, I saw it, drop this little content. Well, a few days ago, while I was on YouTube, I got this message from a lady that I follow, one Miss Rhonda Lee Quaresma. She's a former bodybuilder, out of Canada. And like I said, I'm a fan of the ladies from the Great White North. Anyway, she had a serious diagnosis of cancer a few months ago, and right now she's going through chemotherapy. And I wish the best of luck for her. Cancer is just an awful disease, and it hits so many people, and especially surprisingly, quite often there's quite a few female bodybuilders who have suffered and died from the disease. It's just many medical issues involving, especially in sport of bodybuilding. Why the reason why some get the disease, and the basic disease is just from people gonna say steroids is one thing, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just genetics, or sometimes it's just some bad luck. But anyway, let me speak about Miss Rhonda Lee Quaresma. She was born Rhonda Lee, Rhonda Lee Dionne Quaresma, December 11th of 1968, in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Now, I don't got a lot much her early stuff, issues I got. I know she started bodybuilding around the good part of the early 80s. And after a series of successful careers as amateur, she debuted, in her first show was the Tana back in '98. Now she gained her pro card when she won the Canadian Nationals, and she was the Miss Canadian winner and '95 for the CBBF, which is the Canadian Bodybuilder Federation. She made her debut in '98 and placing 13th at the Jantana Classic. During the 2000s, she performed. She competed a little bit more. She did some more shows, but in the 2000s, she was one of she did some adult films. And she's one of two or three female bodybuilders that were really, like it's her, Robert Bova. They did a bunch of pornos in the early '90s, and that was the growth of back then. You see that many female bodybuilders that did it, and I think the first really two ones that really did it was, well, three I can really think of that really did it back then was Rhonda Lee, Robert Bova, and one lady by the name of Lynn McCrushen. Now, so anyway. She did some pornos, and she did some modeling. A few people know that back in 2011, she was busted on a prostitution sting. Now, she had arranged a meeting with an undercover deputy, and out of Lee County, Florida. Now, that's just a bad thing that happens. The story goes that they had made arrangements, and she didn't know he was undercover until the day she got to the place, and he just identified himself as a police officer. She did some time in prison, but then what happened after that? No, well, she did some time in jail, and after coming out, she came back into bodybuilding again in around 2012, and she switched from bodybuilding to physique, and she made a comeback at the 2012 Toronto Pro Show. She still models, and also she's a private trainer and a nutritionist tech certified by the Professional Personal Trainer Association. Now, but anyway, like I said, she is going through some hardships with a diagnosis of cancer, and and they think cancer is chemotherapy, and chemotherapy is really trying. Um, and it's just like I said, was a few years ago. There's a bodybuilder I used to was favorite of mine back in the '80s. One Jackie Presley, she died from cancer. Limit Crush, the woman I mentioned earlier, she had died from cancer. There's a page on there's a site called Fallen Angels, which lists many different female bodybuilders who have died, and there's a great number who have died from cancer. Now, there's others from heart problems and other things, but that's a part of the sport. Sometimes, the sacrifice you make to be an athlete sometimes affects your body also. As we talk about combat sports, how some of these MMA fighters, how sometimes they have issues. Especially, there's been fighters that died from dehydration, for depleting their body of fluids and stuff like that. And field bodybuilders are no different. There have been situations where field bodybuilders, when they're doing a show, I remember years ago there was a bodybuilder by the name of, I forgot her name. I remember I was watching a show. It was a documentary, and she's doing it was through the competition, and the lady had to drop out because she was so faint she couldn't hold herself up. And I even saw one time when I saw a lady was on stage performing, and she just fell out and fainted doing the show. And it's just the thing. That's the thing of athletes, and it's just part of their life. But Rhonda Lee, or AKA baby baby Lee, or sometimes somebody call her Miss Sparkles. She's a very attractive woman, very popular in the sport of bodybuilding. Her career was kind of short lived. I think one thing was the reason why she did jump over to doing porn is because to make money. And I was like I said, I have a friend. She's a female bodybuilder, and she does video chat and things. She said that that most often some girls don't will go all the way and some might not, and it's up to that individual. Is and plus with the cost of being a bodybuilder, you don't make as much money. And some of these ladies have to do things as video chats and sessions and and other stuff just to circumvent income. You know, some have legit jobs, but some it's hard to maintain a legit job where you try to train and get ready for shows, especially when you're amateur. That's the hardest part too, because you don't get as much money compared to we get the pros. But anyway, I want to wish Rhonda Lee the best of health. I hope that things turn out well for you, and maybe whatever your diagnosis gets into remission. It's your man George Page. Like, subscribe. Don't like, don't subscribe. I'm out.